Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina astafa amma ba'd. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الله الذي خلقكم ثم جعل من بعد ضعف قوة ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبا والله العليم القدير يخلق ما يشاء والله العليم القدير رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. My dear respected brothers, the verse that I have recited in front of you is from Surah Rum, Surah number 30, verse number 54. Allah Azza wa Jal states that it is He who has created you. Allahu alladhi khalaqakum. It is He who has created you in a state of weakness. In other words, you were feeble, you were weak as infants. We were so weak that we could not turn from our right side to our left and from our left to our right. And our parents had to turn us from side to side. If they did not turn us from side to side, then the shape of our skull would be flat on one side. That is how weak we were. Then Allah Azza wa Jal explains the next stage of life. ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ ضَعْفٍ قُوَّةٍ. Then after this stage of feebleness, He made you strong. Yes, now you are in the prime of your youth. You feel that you can run a marathon. You feel that you can climb Mount Everest if you had to. Right? You don't get tired. You're able to go to the gym and lift heavy weights, and you come at home and lift heavy boxes. You're full of energy. Then what happens? Allah explains, ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ قُوَّةٍ ضَعْفًا وَشَيْبًا. Then after this stage of strength, He makes you weak and old. يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ. He creates what He wills. وَاللَّهُ الْعَلِيمُ الْقَدِيرُ. And indeed Allah is all-knowing, all-powerful, almighty. This stage of life, Allah Azza wa Jal has described in the Quran to help us understand that everything that rises must decline. كُلُّ صَاعِدٍ نَازِلٌ. Everything that goes up must come down. Even something as strong as the formidable mountains. Once upon a time they were created, and then over time they get eroded because of climate, because of weather. The sun rises and then it sets. The Roman Empire that lasted for more than 1,000 years, it also had its decline, inhitat. And the seasons of the year are reflective of the stages of our life. Spring is like our youth, and the height of our youth is the summer. And then after that prime youth and full of energy and vibrancy comes the decline, Those who are now in their 40s and 50s, they will admit to you that, yes, I can't do all the things I used to do. And those who are in their 60s will tell you that I can't go up and down the stairs as quickly as I used to. Can't do half the things that I used to. What happened? ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ قُوَّةٍ ضَعْفًا وَشَيْبًا. Getting old must decline. And then after this youth comes, after the summer comes, fall, which is our old age. Autumn and fall, when the leaves are falling from the trees. Now comes winter, death. The tree is bare naked, not a single leaf on the tree. This is to remind us not only of our death, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. It is to remind us that yes, there is the afterlife coming. And now, no matter how energetic and youthful we feel today, we will feel it sooner or later, a decline in our faculties. Yes. Not only in our physical abilities, yes, but Allah explains in Surah Nahl, Surah number 16, ayat number 30, ayat number 70. Allah explains, Allahu alladhi walladhi khalaqakum. It is Allah who has created you. Thumma yatawaffakum. Then He will take your soul. He will give you death. But not everyone dies before old age. Some people do reach old age. Some people don't. So Allah Azza wa Jal first states that He has created you, then He gives you death. In other words, some people die before old age. Then وَمِنْكُمْ, some of you, يُرَدُّ, are returned إِلَىٰ أَرْذَلِ الْأُمَرِ, to the return. Pay attention to this word, returned to feeble age. Returned. You use the word return when you have been somewhere. Right? I'm going to return back to England. Means I was in England. You returned إِلَىٰ أَرْذَلِ الْأُمَرِ, towards that weak, feeble age. لِكَيْ لَا يَعْلَمَ بَعْدَ عِلْمٍ شَيْئًا, that after knowing much, now you know nothing. You might have won the Nobel Prize for physics and chemistry in your youth. You might have won the Pulitzer Prize for writing a book. You might have been a world-renowned neurosurgeon in your youth. But now you have Alzheimer's, and you can't remember your son's name or your husband's name, nor can you recognize them. What happened? لِكَيْ لَا يَعْلَمَ بَعْدَ عِلْمٍ شَيْئًا. This is the fact of life. What Western societies do, it is a tragedy. Not all, because there are good people everywhere. But the trend is to relegate old people to assisted care or memory care, memory assistance, old people's home. And there, they play bingo once a week. They watch TV waiting for death. Yes. Bored, wishing, hoping, praying that someone could come and visit them. Loneliness, yes, they experience loneliness, and this is detrimental to one's physical and mental health. That's why you will find the county, whether it's Salt Lake County or many other counties across the US, they look for volunteers who will call old people and talk to them on the phone because there's no one talking to them. Yes. And there is a business, a thriving business in New York, where if a body is decomposing, old person dies at home and no one knows. And the body starts to decompose. And the neighbors, they smell the foul smell coming from their neighbor's house. They call the police barges open the door, and they see a body that has started to decompose. Yes, old. Yes, alhamdulillah, for the most part, we can say that the Muslim ummah, the Muslim community, takes care of their elders. But we can also do better. We can also do better. Not only taking care of our elders in the sense of parents and grandparents, but taking care of elders in the community. For example, Ramadan is coming up, 2 months away, right? And there might be some elderly person who the state has put restrictions on their driver's license that they cannot drive at night. And they need to come for the Taraweeh prayers. We can reach out to them. They are not going to reach out to us because they will feel like it is imposing on us. So we can reach out to them and say, uncle, auntie, do you need a ride to the masjid? I can take you. Right. How good of a job are we doing taking care of our elderly? And also the elderly in the community. Yes, the non-Muslim community. We can go out as volunteers to these assisted care centers and memory care centers and go and talk to them. Yes, Allah has made the human being as such that He wants that connection. He wants that interconnection. He has not made us to live in solitude as hermits. And those old people, many old people, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, millions, are dying for that connection. They're lonely. Yes. So to take care of our elders. Yes. The society that places so much emphasis, and part of the problem is that Western societies place so much emphasis on youth and looking young and being young and feeling young, that we inadvertently devalue old age. If you want to look at the true face of Western societies, don't look at them in their youth, look at them in their old age. Then you will get a true tasweer, true picture of Western society. Yes. Sometimes the word old man becomes a slur. A person will get offended if you call him old. There's nothing wrong with being old. Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned these stages of life in 2 surahs I mentioned, Surah Rum and Surah Nahl, of how we make you old and feeble, to explain to us that this is a fact of life. And when we experience old age, or those who are experiencing old age, how should we as a community take care of them? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, min ijlalillahi ta'ala, it is part of honoring Allah. Imagine, min ijlalillahi ta'ala, it is part of honoring Allah, ikramu ذِي Muslim, that you honor the elderly person. وَحَامِلِ الْقُرْآنِ غَيْرُ الْغَالِفِ وَالْجَافِ عَنْ, and the carrier of the Quran. Who do you think is the carrier of the Quran? Hafiz. Hafizul Quran, someone who has memorized the Quran. It is part of honoring Allah that you honor this Hafiz. In other words, if you have honored this Hafiz, it is as if you have honored Allah. And the third category is what Sultan al-Muqsit, the just ruler, the fair ruler. We don't see a fair ruler in the Muslim Ummah anywhere. Even if you look with the magnifying glass, you will not find a fair ruler today, unfortunately. But there was a time in our history where there was fair rulers, just rulers, and we can read about them and learn about them and be inspired by them and know for a fact that it is achievable to have a fair ruler. It is not a fairy tale, something that is out there in La La Land. No, it is possible. It is doable for the human race to have fair rulers and just rulers, because they did exist in the past. To honor this just ruler is honoring Allah. If you think and ponder for a moment, you will find that these 3 categories of people, there is a common denominator between them. But anyhow, another hadith, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, "Laysa minna," that person is not from us. Not from us means he's not from the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Man lam yarham saghirana wa lam ya'rif kabirana, who does not have mercy on our youngsters and does not revere and honor our elders. He's not from us. Very harsh statement. Yes. So we should respect our elders, honor them. And what goes around comes around. Do we believe in karma? Yes, we do. Kama tadinu tudanu, with the caveat that what goes around comes around either in this world or the hereafter. Sometimes in this world, sometimes in the hereafter. Why? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, "Ma akrama shabun shaykhan li sinnihi illa qayyadallahu lahu man yukrimuhu inda sinnihi." That any youth who honors an old man because of his old age, respects him, caters to his needs, Allah Azza wa Jal will appoint A young man will bring people in his life when he is old to take care of him. What goes around, comes around. If you honor and respect an elderly person, then when you are old, and that day is coming sooner or later, unless you die before old age, that time is coming where we will become old. Allah Azza wa Jal will bring people in our lives who will honor us and revere us. Yes. Umar radiallahu anhu, during his khilafah, this is a story most of you probably know or should know, that 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙇𝙊𝙒 bin Ubaidillah saw him, فَرَآهُ يَدْخُلُ بَيْتَ مْرَأَةٍ فِي لَيْلَةٍ, saw him entering the house in the dead of night, the house that belonged to some woman. So 𝙁𝙊 bin Ubaidillah, he entered that house during the daytime. And he found a woman, 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙊𝙒 𝘾𝙊𝙉𝙏𝘾𝙏. She was old, she was blind, and she was 𝘾𝙊𝙉, means she could not move. What we would call disabled or handicapped, paralyzed. She could not move. So 𝙁𝙊 bin Ubaidillah said, do you know the person that comes to you at night? She goes, I don't know his name, but he's been coming munth kada wa kada. He's been coming for so many years. Ya'tini bima yuslihuni. He brings to me what I need. In those days, they did not have a tap where you could turn on the water, turn on the faucet, and you had running water. You had to bring water from outside, from quite a distance. He brings me water and what I need. They didn't have Instacart to order groceries. And hear this, وَيُخْرِجَ مِنِّي الْأَذَى, and he takes out the filth from the house. What do you think is meant by filth? Garbage and human feces. Because they didn't have plumbing, right? So, and she couldn't move. He takes that filth out of the house. That is what they did with their spare time. And it took 𝙁𝙊 bin Ubaidillah to spy on Umar radiallahu anhu in that sense, to find out what Amir al-Mu'mineen was doing in the dead of night. That is how they took care of their elders. Yes. They didn't just relegate them to a corner of the house. Yes. The story of Musa alayhi salam in Surah Qasas, where he accidentally kills a person and then runs from Egypt. وَلَمَّا وَرَدَ مَاءَ مَدْيَنَ وَجَدَ عَلَيْهِ أُمَّةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ يَسْقُونَ. He found a group of people in Madian crowded around a well trying to take out water for their flock of sheep. وَوَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمْ امْرَأَتَيْنِ تَذُودَانِ. And he saw two women standing by the side. قَالَ مَا خَطْبُكُمَا. He said, what's happening to you? In other words, to help them, because prophets have a helpful nature. They want to help the weak. So he said, why are you standing here by the side? They said, قَالَتَا لَا نَسْقِي حَتَّى يُسْدِرَ الرِّعَاءُ وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. We are not going to go into that crowd of men. We're not going to mix with that crowd of men to take out water until they're done first. And as if to answer a question that could come up, because what question can come up? Where's the man of the house? How come the man of the house is not here? How come he's not doing it? How come you're here? They answered, وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. Our father is an old man. Old man. All 11 translations, English translations that I looked at before I came here, all said old man, old man, old man, which is the correct translation. But old man has a different connotation today in 2025. Yes or no? It's almost like a slur, old man. Old man here means an honorable elder, respected elder. Old he is, man he is, but he is an honorable, great man. But to carry the point further, he's sitting at home. Why? Because he does not have the physical strength. He does not have the physical strength to do what it takes to pull that water out of the well, to carry out the responsibilities of what you would expect from a man of the house. He does not have that physical strength. He's old. But when it comes time to marriage, who's making the decision? This same old man. قال إني أريد أن أنكح إحدى ابنتي هاتين على أن تأجرني ثمانية حجج. In other words, he's old on one hand, on one side, but at the same time he has agency. He has power. He's making decisions. Who his daughter marries. Yes. So we have much to benefit from our elders in the community, right? They might not have the physical strength. They're not generating income, right? And they take a long time making a decision whether to make, when it comes time to make a left turn at the traffic light. Yes. And if we get stuck behind them on the stairway, they take a long time walking down those stairs. Their physical strength is not there. They're not carrying on the chores of the house. But I swear by Allah, that old elderly person sitting in the corner of your home is bringing so much barakah that you and I cannot imagine. And when that elderly person, whether it is a parent or an uncle or a grandparent, dies, and we lose that barakah that was coming because of that person, then and then only will we realize how much khair and barakah this elderly person was bringing to us while he was alive. And yes, we have much to benefit in terms of their wisdom, experience, and compassion. May Allah Azza wa Jalla enable all of us to serve the elderly in our community, to respect them, whether it is from our community or outside. We should respect and honor our elders.